Hello and welcome to Wingin It. So recently I was at the UK Games Expo, which is the UK's largest board gaming convention, and while I was there I was able to take part in an in-person Wingspan tournament, which is very exciting. Obviously, long-term followers of this channel will know most of my gameplay does come on the digital version, but any chance I get to play in person, I'm going to take it. So yeah, this is the second year that there has been a Wingspan tournament at the UK Games Expo, hosted by the Mind Sport Olympiad. And I took part in it last year and I did win it. So yeah, I was very excited to get the opportunity to take part again. And of course, have a chance to defend my title. And this time around, I was able to record some gameplay from the games that I was taking part in. And yeah, in this video, I'm going to go through those games, showcase some edited highlights, of course, with a bit of post-game commentary, just to explain what was going through my head, the thought processes and the decision-making, but also to give a bit of context as to what's going on my opponent's boards, because obviously, with this camera angle, not quite as good as in the digital version, so can't quite see exactly what is going on there, but yeah, if you want to see the games in full, I will also be posting those. No gameplay commentary on there, but it might still be interesting for you just to see the game in full and yeah, how the game develops, and of course my individual board as well. So yeah, we're going to get stuck in here with our first game, and it's not quite such a good starting hand here. You hope for a good start in game one, definitely not really got it here. So yeah, Eastern Kingbird, one of the birds we're keeping, which can work definitely in 3-player with that pink power. You know, getting extra worms whenever someone plays a forest bird. Pink powers generally, the more players you have, they're going to perform better. But the common loon are only wetland birds really to yeah, get something going there. Not quite so good in 3-player because you know you need both players to be playing wetland birds before you can hope to activate it. So bonus card slightly better. We do have Omnivore Expert, so that was partly why I was thinking of going for the loon there. And of course, this is all slightly ruined by what you might be able to see in the tray, which is a killdeer. So I'm going third in this game, which means I have basically no shot at getting that. And yeah, it definitely does ruin the common loon slightly. So first turns here, and yeah, the first player did not take that killdeer. So yeah, like I said, going third, you don't get any chance at that. Player 2 is not going to be leaving that. So they snap that one up pretty quickly indeed. No hesitation there. And yeah, for me, it's all about getting this kingbird down. You know, already had player 1 play 1 forest bird, so that's the double jeopardy really there of going third. Is you sometimes miss out on those pink power activations, but hopefully now we've got that down, we can look at getting some good activations off that. Now we go forward a couple of turns here, and unfortunately for me, Raven appears in the tray on player 2's turn. So this is the player who's already picked up a killdeer. Now Raven appears in the tray. So yeah, not exactly how I wanted to get this tournament underway. Game 1, we're only, what, 2 or 3 turns in, and one of the players already has Raven killdeer. And I should say, this tournament doesn't have the usual house rules that we follow online. So yeah, as I say, longer term viewers of this channel would know most of my tournament gameplay online. We do have house rules on the tournament's Discord server, which means the killdeer and the ravens and the Franklin skull, you can't play those until round 2. Obviously, they're very powerful birds, so I'm just delaying that. Helps to balance the game a bit more, and yeah, really kind of limit how overpowered these birds can be. But in this tournament, not happening. So yeah, killdeer and raven, know that those are going to go down pretty quickly, and yeah, it's going to be a long uphill battle here. Not such a good hand for us. I did grab a ring-billed gull that appeared in the tray. Just felt that would be a slightly better option than the common loon. Obviously, knowing the killdeer's there, probably not going to get much usage from that. So we'll look to get that down. Obviously, does hit the Omnivore Expert. And yeah, see where we can go from here and just try and limit the damage. So we come forward a couple of turns here. Back to our turn. You see we played the gull. We've laid eggs on it, and now we can start drawing cards. So yeah, there we go. We get the common grackle. So definitely a bird I'm looking for. And full tuck potential is looking pretty good here. Obviously, already got the gull down, tuck and draw. And yeah, common grackle as well. Potentially getting some eggs as well as some more tucks there. I did say to some friends before this tournament, if I could get the opportunity for a full tuck, I was going to take it with both hands. So, yeah, definitely excited for that. And maybe it's going to be that kind of full tuck that's going to still give me a chance here. Obviously, you can see there, player 2, the board opposite me, already got their Raven down. And they're going to be pretty quickly accelerating and getting some more birds down themselves. All right, back to our turn now. We're in a fresh round into round 2. You can see we've not got any more birds down, but that's going to change on this first turn. We play Blue-winged Warbler now. Slightly strange, of course. I think ideally I would have been getting that Grackle down first. But the feeder, when I went for food before, not really helping me out. So I need the seed. Did get the couple of worms though. So yeah, this situation I thought we'll get the Warbler down. That's obviously big points, but just pushes that forest out one more space. So when I do get food, I can get a couple. And yeah, hopefully look to get this Grackle down soon. So still no Kingbird activations, you can see. No forest birds down. Raven player has started to add a little bit to their grasslands, but the Kildis still is not down, so I believe they played Northern Harrier next to it, and yeah, just get some points going. But we know Kildis in the back pocket. That's going to be coming down pretty soon. Jumping forward a couple of turns, it is back to us. We have gone for food. We got the seed we wanted. We laid eggs, and yeah, that common Grackle is now going down. So definitely slower than I would have liked. Ideally, as I say, that Grackle would have been going down in round 1, but the feeder sometimes it's not going to cooperate, and certainly when you're against a Raven player, that feeder is just going to get recycled that little bit more slowly. So yeah, sometimes you can't really do much about that, but it's down now, so we're happy. We've got ourselves 3-point wetlands there, and there is a tasty looking tree swallow in the tray, so I've definitely got my eyes on that with a berry in my supply, and hopefully this Kingbird can get me a worm. I'll be able to get that down. And there we go. Hopefully we could start building out this wetlands, really start to accelerate with these tucking powers, as I'm sure you all know that I love to do. Jumping forward a few more turns, again, you can see we've just been drawing cards a few times. We've got a few eggs on that Grackle. And perhaps slightly surprisingly, I'm going to play California Condor here now. Obviously low food setup, so free bird gets me a bonus card, and you can see there, Historian and Ecologist. So Historian, I was very surprised to see that. I always forget about these bonus cards because they're not available online. But yeah, in this case, Ecologist, pretty safe pickup, I know. I can just add another grassland bird in there and get 4 points. So yeah, quite happy with that. I think Condor as well might have helped for one of the end of round goals, but like I say, no food, get me a bonus card. And yeah, not really still having this food for this tree swallow. I'm kind of trying to be patient, see when the feeder gets reset, or see when I can get a Kingbird activation, but not to be quite at this point. So yeah, we go into round 3, and finally I get to go first in a round. You can see it pick up a spoonbill. That's just to deny the Raven player. I can't be letting them have that. That's going straight under that Grackle. But luckily for me, there is an American Coot as well, so I'm able to pick that up. And that's another omnivore bird, so we've already got 2 tucking omnivore birds down. And so yeah, American Coot and the tree swallow as well. So in my head, that's basically my wetlands is going to be done. Hopefully I can just draw food the once, get the food, get those down, and then it's probably just draw cards until the end of the game. Hopefully find some other cheap birds that I can look to get down. So we come here to near the end of round 3, and you can see the wetlands is set up, so I did go for food once. I did get a Kingbird activation. You can see the player opposite me did play a forest bird, so that was very handy, getting the worms. And yeah, I had 3 eggs on the Grackle, so it's pretty straightforward to play the 2 wetland birds. And now we're away, drawing cards and doing lots of tucking. So yeah, the player opposite me, player 2, by this point they do, of course, have their grasslands pretty much fully set up. So I believe it was Raven, Harrier, and then Indigo Bunting, and killed it as well to finish that off. Now they did notice after the game that they got the Raven confused with the American Crow, so they'd only actually been taking 1 food with that, so they definitely could have, yeah, really accelerated maybe a bit more with the 2 food, but certainly with that bunting, that was still helping them out. But yeah, we're drawing cards. We pick up that Great Horned Owl. I think that was from the trade just as a bit of a deny, but yeah, for me at this point, it's just about what can I find that's cheap to play, because I don't really want to take food again. Obviously, only 2 food there, no points. Hopefully I can get some Kingbird activations. There's one that comes through right on time. And yeah, get something down in the grasslands, really. That's what I'm looking for. Something that hits Omnivore, get some bonus card points. And yeah, see where we can take it from there. And here we go into the last round. We have mostly been just drawing cards. We did lay eggs once. I think for the end of round, it might have been Cavity Birds with an egg on, hence the Tree Swallow. And I did kind of figure, you know, I can't draw cards forever. I am going to run out of space on this Grackle and not really be able to play too much stuff. But we are drawing some pretty nice stuff. You can see we have got a Bell's Vireo there, which I'm kind of considering, especially if I can get one more worm off the Kingbird. That would be a pretty nice play in the grasslands. But yeah, otherwise not really great stuff. So we've got a Bobolink, which probably, I think here, yeah, is going to get the tuck. Don't really have the food for that. Pick up a Vireo. For the forest, maybe we get a double play there. But yeah, otherwise it's mostly expensive birds. So I'm still kind of looking for those cheap birds. Like I say, something for the grasslands to hit the bonus cards would be ideal. Our turn again. And again, we are going to draw cards. No surprises here. I should say at this point as well, player one, you might just be able to see it out the corner of your eye. They do have a Franklin's Gull down. So yeah, game one, I've got a Gull one side and a Killdeer Raven the other. Not ideal, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to keep doing my own thing and keep tucking here. So you might have seen we did get a pretty nice pickup in one of the hummingbirds. So yeah, normally not what you'd look for here, but as I say, it's omnivore, it's cheap, only that one food. It can go in the grass, and so that would be a pretty safe play there to be able to hit the bonus cards and clear out some of this Grackle egg space, because that's important. And speaking of clearing out the egg space, there was Savannah Sparrow, so we got a double bird, which is absolutely perfect. So at this point, it's pretty clear what I'm going to do with my last 3 turns. So yeah, 2 food, I can do that double play with those 2 food. That's going to clear 2 eggs off my Grackle, and that's all I need, because 2 more turns of tucking for 5 points is going to fill that up. So I'm pretty clear what the end game is, and yeah, it's all just about hoping that it's going to be enough to beat the Killdeer Raven opposite me. And so it is the last turn of the game here. In fact, it's player 2's last turn of the game, and you might be able to see that Atlantic Puffin goes down. Not what you want to see. Very annoying, but yeah, when you've got Killdeer, you're going to find these birds. And when you've got Raven, you're going to be able to afford to play them. So definitely nice for my opponent there. And yeah, you'll see we followed the plan. We did the double play, clearing off the Grackle eggs. And yeah, it's just a straightforward turn drawing cards. It really doesn't matter what I'm drawing here, which is why I'm not giving it too much thought. I'm just drawing blind, get the tucks in, and yeah, of course, get the egg on the Grackle. So quite a nice engine at the end, to be honest. Do kind of wish I could have got it set up maybe 2 or 3 turns sooner. I think if the bird feeder was a bit kinder, or if I could have got more Kingbird activations, definitely would have been possible. But as I say, it's just one of those things you got to deal with sometimes. Bird feeder's not always going to cooperate. And here we go, the game is done. We are on to the counting up of the scores. So yeah, I've skipped forward to the best part of any game, which of course is counting up your tuck cards at the end. So plenty for me, but it has to be said, there's plenty for player 2 as well. You might be able to see there, that Harrier, it was having some pretty good success hunting. So yeah, definitely nervous. And of course, I can kind of see the scoreboard out of the corner of my eye. You got to do the maths here, because, you know, unlike digital version, it doesn't count up for you. You've got to count up yourself. You've got to try and work out what your player's score is as well by counting up all their eggs and everything. So yeah, not always possible, but a healthy stack of tuck cards for us. And yeah, that's really going to be our key here, because we've not got loads of birds down. We've got some good bonus points. We didn't do too well in the end of round goals either. That's kind of a symptom of going with the full tuck wetlands here. But yeah, I think we did what we could up against, as I say, a pretty tough engine opposite us in player 2, and there we go. It is a defeat, unfortunately. 93, 83, 61. But to be honest, I was quite happy with that. To only lose by 10 against what was a pretty filthy engine, not too bad of a result as far as I'm concerned. Putting that defeat behind us, we move on here into round 2, and it is already looking much better there. So yeah, very excited, of course, seeing the Franklin's Gull in my starting hand. And as I said, no house rules, so very strange experience for me to be able to get the opportunity to play this and use this in round 1. Normally you've got to bide your time a little bit, wait until you get to the start of second round. But yeah, definitely a good hand there for me to start with. You can see we've got the Brewers Blackbird as well, which is kind of like the best friend of this Franklin's Gull. tuck some of those extra birds you're getting, turn them into points and eggs as well. So starts of a good engine there. We've got the blue jay as well for a good forest bird. So yeah, for me it's kind of straightforward here. We're going to be able to get that blue jay down. We're going to start getting some food, get the gull down. And it's all going to be about laying eggs. We've got some good end of round goals as well. They're all either get birds in the grasslands or lay eggs on certain kinds of nests, which is what happens in the base game here. So yeah, lots of end of round goals and of course bonus cards, and generally the strategy is going to be going grasslands. So that's just what makes this Franklin's Goal so powerful, and it's why I'm so happy to see it. So yeah, should be a pretty straightforward start here. Alright, it is our turn here. You can see we've already had 2 turns. We played the blue jay as expected. We took food, we got what we needed for this gull, and it is time to crush some dreams. So gull goes down. And yeah, such a strong start. To be able to get that down on turn 3 does feel a little bit dirty, I've got to say. But no, that's the rules of the tournament. I'm just following it. All I had to do was get this down as soon as possible. And hopefully we can get some good card draw, and of course we're looking to get that Bruised Blackbird down as soon as possible. Birds in the grasslands for this first end of round only makes it more important to get that down quickly. Jumping forward a few turns here, you can see we have been laying eggs, we've been getting food. One of the opponents has got a hummingbird, so that's definitely going to help us. Another opponent has a raven, so coming up against ravens in both of these first 2 games, not what we like to see, but of course having the girl down is going to help us. Now, a slightly surprising move here, playing the belted kingfisher. Now, there are a few reasons I did that. First of all, it's got a star nest. That's going to help with end of round goals 2 and 3, and my bonus card as well, which is Nest Box Builder. Second of all, it's a pink power, which is going to give me food. Of course, when you're running Franklin's Goal, food is what you want to be getting for free. Neither player had played any wetland birds at this point, so I felt that was a good chance of getting some pink power activations there. And of course, just a bit of egg space. That last end of round goal is sets of eggs in the 3 habitats. So kickstart my wetlands there nicely with lots of egg space. And then there we go. Next turn, no messing about. Brewer's Blackbird is going down. And yeah, we've got 1 turn left. So we're going to be laying eggs. We're going to be getting some points and some cards. Very, very nice. Jumping forward a few turns here, it comes onto our turn. You can see we've been laying eggs a couple of times, getting lots of tucks on the blackbirds. We've been collecting a bit of food, not just from the bird feeder, but from that hummingbird opposite us as well. And that means we can get this yellow-bellied sapsucker down. So again, another one here for the bonus card. That's already 3 cavity nests down for that. Very, very nice. And that's just going to help get this engine going a little bit in the forest. So get some more food. You can see the bonus card there, and you can also see we've got a spoonbill. So hopefully some free fish from that kingfisher, but getting extra food in the forest just to add to what we're getting from the hummingbird as well. Going to help get that down. And yeah, we can just keep laying eggs here. So we've got a bit more egg space to work with. Keep laying eggs, get lots of points. That is what we're going to be going for indeed. So a few more turns have passed. It has come through here to our last turn of the second round. And we've got quite the stockpile of food going on. So we did go for food ourselves a couple of times. Of course, the hummingbird's been helping us out as well. We've got some good birds to play, including, of course, this violet green swallow that I did manage to get from the deck. So yeah, I'm just looking for big point birds. I've got lots of food. I've got a good setup in the forest. And if I can get just a couple more birds to hit my bonus card, maybe I'm going to play the spoonbill. That can give me another good bonus card to work towards. That's what I'm going to be looking to do. You can see we're doing pretty well in these end of round goals as well. So a 3-way tie in the first round, but clearly winning that second one. So yeah, we're in a really good position here. No doubt thanks to this Franklin's Goal. So a few more turns have passed. You can see, of course, it's been more egg laying. At this point, it's just such a good engine. You know, we're getting 5 points. We're getting card cycle. Really, really nice indeed. And that healthy stockpile of food is going to start to get some usage. So going down, we have Scissortail Flycatcher. Lovely bird to add here to this Franklin's Goal. And we've got some birds in our hand that's going to really make the most of that food. Of course, the spoonbill that I talked about before. We're going to need a worm for that. But we did pick up a Cerulean Warbler as well along the way. So yeah, more bonus cards. That's really what's going to be coming our way towards the end of this game. Of course, only 2 turns left this round. And then a few more turns in the final round. So I think for me at this point, it's just going to be about laying eggs, getting the last few worms from this flycatcher, and then getting these bonus card birds down and seeing what we can do. And yeah, you can see our opponents there sort of building up their boards. Opposite me, we've got a pretty nice forest going on, in addition to the hummingbirds in the grasslands. And the raven player, by this point, they'd added American Robin and the Mockingbird and the Catbird, so I was feeling a little bit nervous there. Lots of card cycle to go with their food generation, but there we go for us. We're going to get the Spoonbill down. And we've got quite a good choice of bonus cards here. So we've got Bird Counter, which we do, of course, have 2 tucking birds. But Photographer, so like in the first game where we picked up the Historian, had to do a bit of a double take with the Photographer and try and work out, which of these birds have got colours in their names. But we do have quite a few. So, of course, we've got the Blue Jay, we've got the Yellow-bellied Sapsucker, the Brewer's Blackbird, the Violet-green Swallow, and the Spoonbill. And we've got the Cerulean Warbler in our hands, so that is 6. That's what you need to max that out. And yeah, that's me keeping that pretty straightforwardly. So already 4 off Nestbox Builder and now 6 off Photographer, plus the Cerulean Warbler to play. We're looking good on bonus points. Into the last round now, you can see we've mostly been laying eggs, and it is creating a little bit of an egg space problem. But very fortunately, we're going to solve all of that here with a very nice double play. So we managed to find a tufted titmouse just to add here to our Cerulean Warbler. So yeah, another bird easily played with all of these worms from the flycatcher, giving me some more egg space. And here we go, some more bonus cards. Cartographer, which is another one you don't see so much in digital online. But more importantly, we have got the Forester. So already 4 of those birds down to hit that. And we've still got space for a 5th. And there is a bird in the tray that I'm eyeing up that is a bit of an unusual play, but definitely works here. So Juniper Titmouse is sat there staring at me. And that would max out both the Forester and Nestbox Builder. So only a 4-point bird on its own, and only 2 points after you deduct the eggs, but 4 more from the Forester and another 3 from maxing out Nestbox Builder. It becomes a 9-point play. So yeah, I've got my eyes on that for a slightly strange late play, but really enabling some strong bonus card points here. And jumping forward a couple of turns, it is time. We're going to get this titmouse down. So we did lay eggs on the last turn, starting to fill up a little bit again. But yeah, we were able to grab the titmouse. We can force it down. With the last little bit of food we've got left over, clear out some egg space. And yeah, that gives us one more turn coming round when it gets onto our final turn. We're just going to lay eggs. And we're going to get a lot of points here. 4 eggs, tuck on the swallow, and then a tuck and an egg on the blackbird. 7 points. Really, really clean engine. And it's putting us in a strong position as well. Sets of eggs for this final end of round goal. Absolute dream. I've got plenty of those down. So we're looking very, very good indeed. And so it comes here to the final scores. You can see we're going old school here. Pen and paper, get the scoring pad out, counting up all of the points. As I said, 21 bonus points from 3. Very, very happy with that. Very strong score there. But of course, lots of bird points down, lots of eggs, plenty of tuck cards as well. Pretty healthy stack going on there for us. And yeah, as we put the final touches here, just counting up all of the scores, double checking to make sure we're doing our maths right, working out what our opponents have got as well. And in the end, it is a very, very strong score there for us, 121. I was very happy with that for sure. Of course, 86 and then 64 for the other 2 players. So yeah, that was all down to the Franklin's goal, really, of course. Getting that, being able to play that turn 3 and just really run that engine. Super, super satisfying. So very happy with that and definitely needed after that first game to get a strong result. And yeah, see where that puts us into round 3. And speaking of round 3, here it is. Here we go. We've got our starting hand. And we're going first in this one again. So pretty nice to be able to have that. And it's a pretty nice starting hand as well. You can see Housefinch, definitely excited about that. Base game, Grassland Engine, lay eggs, tuck cards. That's kind of the dream bird you're looking for at the start. So happy with that indeed. And yeah, we've also got a blue-grey gnatcatcher. So we're getting some food generation as well at the same time. That's really going to help kick us off in this game. And the only slight concern is the lack of wetlands. But don't you worry, there is a black tern in the tray. So I think, of course, going first, we're going to be able to pick that up. But then we've got this blue-grey gnatcatcher that's going to help out. It can eat worms, that black tern. So yeah, we'll be able to get the gnatcatcher down, start getting some food. And I think that's my plan. Get that down in the wetlands, start drawing some cards, and then use this Housefinch, just cycle through. Obviously get points with the tucks, but yeah, just cycling the cards in your hand, try and find good ones. That's going to be really important for me in this early game. And onto our first turn we come. We are going to draw cards, and we're going to pick up not a black turn, but a Forster's turn. So, yeah, functionally the same bird, but there we go. Very, very nice to be able to get that. And yeah, we'll be able to get that down, like I said, in the wetlands, start drawing some cards. That is going to be the plan, certainly for this first round. So jumping forward a few turns, you can see we have got the gnatcatcher down, we went for food, and then got the housefinch down as well. But we do still have a worm available to play our Forster's turn. So here we are going to lay some eggs, and this you will see is why I kept the Peregrine Falcon from the starting hand. So I never had any intention of playing it. It was just because I knew I wanted to lay eggs before I'm drawing cards, and if I'm going to lay eggs, I want to be getting a tuck as well from that. So that's what I've done. And I've gone and grabbed a Scissortail Flycatcher from the tray. Now, it was in the starting tray. I did consider it, but I was a bit cautious about going a bit too co-op heavy. However, that went out the window because you might be able to see it at the top of your screen, in the corner of your eye. It's a Raven again. So, yeah, another player against me. All 3 games now facing against Ravens. Yeah, they got that down pretty quickly. This player, no mistakes being made. They know it's a Raven, not a Crow. They can get the 2 food. So we're up against it. We're definitely up against it. Yeah, not being able to beat the Raven the first time, but like I say, that's kind of why I thought, let's go co-op. It's generally a good strategy, at least in base game against Ravens. Just throw food at them, kind of give them so much food that they don't know what to do with it. And yeah, in this position, this is a play. It doesn't have any wetland card draw, so I've definitely got better card access, not just through the turn, but of course through this housefinch as well. So yeah, if I can get the Flycatcher down, we can start laying some eggs, of course get 3 eggs and a tuck card point as well. Start throwing some food around. So that's going to be my approach. And yeah, you see there, we're getting some free cards as well because player 2, they've got a Wilson Snipe. So good for me. I want more cards. Bad because it's giving cards to Raven players. So hopefully that is not going to come back and bite us. So on to our next turn here, and it is time I decided to go and get some food. So of course we have got the Flycatcher, and yeah, I want to be getting that down. So there was a berry in the feeder, managed to get a worm on the reroll, and then of course gnatcatcher giving another worm. So that's exactly what we need, and we've got the 1 egg left on the housefinch. So yeah, feeling good about that, and that's going to be my plan to get that down. And you might see as well, we've got another tasty bird in the hand in the Anna's Hummingbird. So full co-op is on the menu. I think I got that Hummingbird from the Wilson Snipe. So yeah, definitely helping me out there a bit. But yeah, in my head, I'm kind of thinking we just go full co-op here. We get the Flycatcher down, we lay eggs, we use the worm from the Flycatcher to play that Anna's Hummingbird. And yeah, we could just go full co-op, throw 2 food a turn at the Raven player. And like I say, just try and overwhelm them because they do finally have a bird in their wetlands, but it's only a Prothonotary Warbler, so not really going to help their card drawing. Yeah, of course they can discard eggs and start to get a few more cards, but definitely our card drawing prospects are stronger. So throwing food around, I don't mind too much. It's going to help me out in the long term. And into round 2 here, you can see we've already had a couple of turns. We played our Flycatcher, we laid eggs, and now it is time for the Hummingbird. So yeah, the gloves are off here. We're not holding back. I knew, as I said, against a Raven, you got to kind of go for it. You got to take risks. So I'm throwing food around. That is going to be our play. And yeah, just hope we can get a few more cards from this Wilson Snipe. Definitely helping out. Yellowthroat coming up there. We also have a Cassin's Finch, which could be a very nice play in the forest for another bonus card. But otherwise, yeah, looking for big point birds. Looking for 1 more engine bird in that grasslands, of course. Get the 4th bird, get the 4 eggs going. But something to hit Fishery Manager would be nice. Only the Forster's turn at the moment. So Puffin would be lovely. Any of those big point birds. I think that's probably what we're going to be looking for here. Jumping forward again a few turns here, you can see we've just been laying eggs. So gradually getting some food through these co-op powers. And it is time to get the Cassin's Finch down. So bonus card gamble. What are we going to get a look at? We've got Large Bird Specialist and Wetland Scientist. So for me, that was a very easy decision. You could see just how quickly I made that call. We're keeping Wetland Scientist because that's a really good combo with Fishery Manager. Of course, most birds that only live in the wetlands also eat fish. So I'm definitely kind of thinking here, I can get at least a couple more down and get to the lower bound on that, but there's definitely potential to max these both out. I do have a Barrow's Goldeneye in my hand, so already thinking about playing that. Of course, a bit of a defense against the Raven Grasslands going on, but we do have some more wetland birds as well to consider playing. So, gonna have some interesting decisions, as I said, but really, as long as I can just keep laying eggs, keep getting more food, hopefully get this Goldeneye down. But yeah, really just see what this House Finch and of course the co-op powers that my opponent has as well is going to help give me. So jumping ahead again onto our turn, you can see we are going to play our 4th grassland bird here. It's not a great bird, but it's better than nothing. Mississippi Kite. So for me, this was in that position of I just need something there. Need something to get me those extra eggs. Maybe it'll get some caches, but maybe not. But yeah, you can only keep digging for so long. And if you can't find something amazing, it's better to play something not quite so good early and at least give it chances to get you some more points. So yeah, for me at this point, the grasses is done. 4 turns left in this round, and then of course the 5 in the last round. It's just going to be about laying eggs and trying to play these birds I've got. So as I said, definitely potential here on the Wetland Scientist. You can see I've got 3 birds there that hit the Wetland Scientist, and 2 of them hit Fishery Manager. The other one being the Blackneck Stilt, which is actually pretty good play in this position. Getting lots of worms to be able to play that. And it's going to give me cards because I don't want to be drawing cards here. It's a 0-point turn. If I can play a bird like the Stilt, get some cards myself, use that for tucking under the House Finch, then that's going to be nice for me. So yeah, definitely some potential, definitely some options. Of course, I was going first in this game, so when we get round to the final round, I'm going to get a fresh trade to look at as well. So maybe that's going to help me out. But in the meantime, yeah, we can just lay some eggs and see where it takes us. So a couple more turns have passed. We've just been laying eggs, getting a bit more food. And for me, that means it is time to get the Goldeneye down. So yeah, that's going to help really defend a bit against the Raven player with their grasslands, because until now, they've not really been able to add much to it. But they did on the turn prior to this, or the one before that, play the Sandhill Crane. And at the same time, I saw them pick up Grey Catbird from the trace. So I know that they're going really heavy on this grasslands. They're just going to lay lots of eggs through the end game. So if I can just take 1 point off that engine every time they use it, that's really going to be my aim here. So yeah, Goldeneye goes down. We do, of course, only have 2 spaces, being the Forcer's turn. So I'm going to have to do some careful management of the egg space there. We're playing birds, but hopefully we can get something else with a Coyote Nest. Just to help alleviate a little bit of pressure there. And our turn comes around once again, and for me that meant it was time now to play this Blackneck Stilt. So yeah, I was running low on cards, and as I said, being able to play this just really, really helpful. Not having to draw cards, hits the Wetland Scientist, and now with the turn, the Goldeneye and the Stilt, we've got 3 points from each of these 2 bonus cards. So I'm quite happy with that, and equally happy picking up a Belted Kingfisher you might have seen there. So again, another one that hits both these bonus cards. It has a Star Nest as well to help out with the Goldeneye and a bit more egg space. So I'll be looking at that. And then for me, it's just about getting that one final bird to be able to cap off that wetlands and hopefully get lots and lots of points from these bonus cards. And so into the final round here, we are going first. And you might be able to see in the tray, we've got an American Oyster Catcher. So along with this Fish Crow, which I did get through one of my opponent's co-op abilities, I'm looking really good for this bonus card. So that's all that's on my mind here. I'm thinking lay eggs, get a little bit more food, and then yeah, we're going to tuck with this House Finch because we've got some extra cards. Thanks to the Stilt, and we are going to go ahead and yeah, swiftly grab the Oyster Catcher, because as I say, with these bonus cards, what I'm thinking is play Oyster Catcher and Kingfisher in the wetlands, and then I can play the Fish Crow up in the forest. And that's going to be 5 birds for Wetland Scientist and 4 birds for Fishery Manager. That's 15 points combined. And I say this time and time again, in the digital games, in the tournaments, when you're playing against Raven or you're playing against a strong grasslands, you've got to try and find points from elsewhere, whether that's end of round goals, which haven't been great for us here. We've been doing okay, getting second or getting some ties. But the other way is through bonus cards. And yeah, Wetland Scientist, Fishery Manager, such a strong combination here. And yeah, it's going to get some good points if we can get these birds down. 4 turns to go, so yeah, time is running out. So jumping ahead a few turns, we have played the Oyster Catcher and we have laid eggs and 2 turns left. So that was just to see in case Puffin comes up or something else that is going to be better than the Kingfisher. Give myself the chance, see what cards I can get through the Oyster Catcher and the Finch. It wasn't to be, but like I say, not too big of a deal because I can just stick with the original plan. So Kingfisher goes down right as this Forcer's turn starts to fill up on eggs. And yeah, 1 turn left, we're going to be playing our Fish Crow. You might be able to see in the background, there is quite the stack of cards forming under that Sandhill Crane. So my opponent there, they just mostly been laying eggs. And yeah, copying through the Catbird power, that Sandhill Crane, and you know, you get 2 tucks a time. Suddenly that's 4 tucks every turn, along with all those eggs. So definitely scary, but for me, that's where this Goldeneye is just coming so strong. It's been getting an egg basically every turn because either the Raven player's been laying eggs, or the other player, you can see lots of action cubes there on their grasslands as well. They've been laying eggs a lot, giving me some free eggs, so that's been nice for me, and it's just allowed me to focus on these bonus cards, get birds down, because I'm still getting eggs, even when I'm not laying them myself. So last turn of the game here, and as I said, it's all about this Fish Crow, so we have 2 food left, exactly what we need. We're going to play it up in the forest, just to save the egg. It only costs 1 up there. And so, yeah, that's maxing out our Fishery Manager, so very, very nice indeed, considering we only had that Forcer's turn about halfway through the game, to really be able to accelerate through, get all these birds down, and get a huge number of bonus card points. Really, really nice indeed. And at this point, I'm just praying and hoping that it's going to be enough, because I can see all those eggs and all those tucks opposite me on the table, and it's quite a scary thing to be looking at. And so we come here to the final scores. I know it's been a strong showing from me, but as I said, I can see all those eggs, I can see all those tuck cards, and watching other players count up the scores is definitely a nerve-wracking experience, knowing that I'm probably going to need a win here to be able to give myself a good chance in this tournament, and the results are going to come in, and we just about squeak a win there, 110 to 107, and then the other player getting 89 there. So I've got to say, I was really happy with how this game went. I knew I was up against it. Really, really scary engine opposite me there with the Catbird and the Crane and the Raven. But going with the co-op in the grasslands, throwing the food about and then maxing out those bonus cards, I think that for me is what just about managed to get me over the line and get me what was a very, very close win. And so there we have it. That was my experience playing in the MSO UKGE Wingspan tournament for 2023. And I've got to say, it was a fun experience, despite the fact, of course, I had to face Raven every game. It was still enjoyable. I still like playing with the physical game whenever I get the chance. And yeah, unfortunately for me, it wasn't enough to get through into the grand final. I was on a tiebreaker for 2nd place, which would have got me a spot in the final, but just not getting enough point differential, I think, on that 3rd game. If I'd been able to win that by a few more points, I might have had a shot. But yeah, just with the crazy engine that my opponent had there, they were always going to score strongly. So that was going to be a difficult one there. But like I say, still enjoyable. I think for me, what I really learned from this tournament was just how important the house rules are, because you could see in every game here, whether it was my opponents playing Raven or in game 2, me playing that Franklin's goal so early on, it just really inflates the scores massively. And it kind of makes the game uncompetitive, I think. Yeah, in that 2nd game, as well as my opponents could have played, they didn't really stand a chance against the round 1 goal. So yeah, for me, it definitely made me feel better about the tournaments we play online with the house rules. And who knows, maybe in some of these in-person tournaments in the future, they'll do some kind of house ruling themselves. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed watching that. A little bit of a change of pace from the usual content here. Of course, if you want to see the games in full, without commentary, those will be linked in the description below, so do go and check those out. But otherwise, thank you for watching. If you aren't subscribed, please do. And yeah, stick around and check out some more content from the digital game. Plenty more tournament gameplay and strategy videos coming your way.